Good morning, everybody. Can you believe that we are already blessing the backpacks? We are already at the end of summer. I think most of us are trying to savor every last bit of summer we can, but my poor youngest child has to go to school tomorrow. Kids, parents, and teachers, we know all too well that summers are getting cut short. Shorter and shorter, it seems like every year. It almost feels like we have to hurry up to enjoy summer, doesn't it? And with less time, there's also less room for mistakes. The less time we have, the less we want a bump in the road costing us time. And because we have this small margin for error, we hurry up to make plans for any trips we might take and make sure we are well prepared for them. We quickly decide on what to do with the kids on staycation days, because if it's not well planned, it may not happen. And then, before you know it, we all rush to shop for back-to-school supplies so we can be ready for school. There is always something that we must do and get ready for, even during our summers, even during our times off. But we don't only feel like we're in a hurry to enjoy summer, we feel in a hurry most of the time. We live at high speed, and we still can't keep up. Technology is moving us all along at a speed that I'm not scared to admit I can't keep up with. I still haven't had a chat with GPT. My wrist is not attached to my phone, and I will not be getting in a self-driving car, thank you very much. But one thing is sure, the speed of technology has sped up all of our lives. We are in a constant state of doing. We are always in a hurry. We are always ready for action. Well, that's good, right? Jesus tells his disciples, be dressed for action and have your lamps lit. Be like those who are waiting for their master to return from the wedding banquet so that they may open the door for him as soon as he comes and knocks. Be dressed for, be ready for action. Well, we know all about that. We are constantly on the go. Our technology, our phones make us all too available. There are even some managers who sent a text at 2:30 a.m. expecting an employee who isn't on call to pick up the 6 a.m. shift. We know about being ready. In order to keep the lamps working, they must be filled and refilled with oil. Have your lamps lit means to stay on top of your work. And we teach our kids this. They have schoolwork and homework coming up, and some might have chores. We know how to do our work. Now, be like those who are waiting for the master to return. I don't even want to finish the sentence. Because waiting is hard for me. I have no patience. As a matter of fact, I do have a tile in my kitchen decorated with a prayer, a souvenir from my mother-in-law. She really knows me. The prayer says, Lord, grant me patience, but please hurry. She knows me. Now look, though, there is a reason these tiles are made and sold at St. Xavier Mission in Tucson, Arizona. Obviously, I'm not the only one who feels this way. Maybe we are trying so hard to adjust to the speed in our lives. We are so used to multitasking that when we are asked for patience, to wait and do nothing feels like inertia, or like being asked to kindly run into this wall headfirst. It is already exhausting enough to be constantly available and to be always on top of your work, but then you're supposed to wait. Hurry up and wait. When you finish the work and yourself in the process, be sure to wait for more work at an unexpected hour. Maybe the hour is 2:30 a.m. when your master comes home from the wedding banquet, or your manager texts you to work the 6 a.m. shift. It's a good thing that even though it sounds like the daily life that Jesus' disciples and we are all too familiar with, what he is talking about is God's kingdom. Jesus teaches us to always be ready for, to work for, and to wait for God. At the unexpected hour, how do we want God to find us? We don't want to be found asleep, unaware. We want to be alert and mindful of God's kingdom. And we can do so by following Jesus' teaching to create an unfailing treasure in heaven, in God's kingdom. He says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. When we place our heart in God's kingdom, we are getting ready for it. But placing our heart in God's kingdom means spending time with God, to wait with God in prayer. And that can be very hard when we have to hurry up to enjoy summer. When you live at high speed, you always run out of time. And when you have no time, there is no room for mistakes, let alone anything else. But the irony of speed is, of course, that we make more mistakes when we are in a hurry. When I wake up late and start running around like a chicken with my head cut off, you better believe that is the morning my hair gets stuck in the hairdryer, I cannot find my keys, and my jacket gets stuck in the doorknob. The more haste, the less speed. Or slow and steady wins the race. So, if you don't have, say, 10 minutes to spend with God, you better make it 20 minutes. Slowing down our speed can be of great help and has many benefits in our frenzied life. And while we spend time in prayer, mindful of God's kingdom, God guides us to our work in the kingdom. When our hearts are waiting here, we can see the lamps that are ours to keep alight so that others may see. When we spend time with God, he shows us that what we have to offer, we can give as alms to our neighbors, to light our lamps, to do our work, and we are not afraid because we know it is our Father's good pleasure to give all of us the kingdom. We give generously and we receive generously. There are no debts in God's kingdom. When we faithfully wait for God's kingdom, we are at peace with what we do, we are at peace with ourselves, we are at peace with our neighbors, and we are at peace with God. When we are ready and working and waiting for God's kingdom, well then, isn't God's kingdom already that much a part of our lives now? Of course it is. Of course it is. Because whatever the unexpected hour and whoever does the actual knocking on the door or texting, when we are alert and our lamps shine and we answer the door, we are blessed. On earth as in heaven, God always has a table prepared for us and desires our company. No matter the hour, when we wait for God's kingdom, we create God's kingdom. To wait for the kingdom of God is to create the kingdom of God. And for this I pray, Lord, grant me patience.